Have you ever really taken the time to think about why we exist? What's our reason for being here on earth? I know I have, and I want to take just a minute to share with you some things that I've learned through studying and reading that are appropriate for a Talk Time video. One of the questions that I've thought about for a long time now is, what is God's will? What is God's calling? And what is our purpose? And I really feel like I've made some headway with that, meaning I really feel like I've narrowed it down, and it's a very simple and easy answer. Am I obeying God? Am I reading His Word? Am I praying? Am I doing the things that He commands us to do? To me, that really is God's will for our lives. If we're doing those things, then we are in His will. The other thing I think about is, what is God's calling on our life? How do we know that we're living our life according to God's call? Well, as we all know, we have desires in life, things that really interest us, things that we just enjoy doing in general. Well, if we're in God's will, if we're obeying God, if we're doing the things that God has set forth for us to do, then God is going to give us the desires of our heart. Now, that doesn't mean that He's just going to give us $1 million, because everybody desires $1 million. But He is going to put those thoughts and those desires in our heart to guide us into what we should be doing. And I really feel like we find our purpose in life when we're in God's will, we're obeying God, and we're following the desires of our heart that God has given us. God wants everyone to have a purpose. He wants everyone to be successful in life. So He's really narrowed the playing field by simply saying, obey my word. I recently picked up a book by Ravi Zacharias called The Grand Weaver, and it's a phenomenal book. I highly recommend you read it for yourself. Now, when I read books, my wife likes to make fun of me because I sit there and I have my markers, my highlighters, rulers, because I like to make notes and I like to underline. And here I underlined this paragraph and actually marked it to memorize because it was so powerful for me. Know that you are God's temple. Bathe your life in prayer. Live out your life in humility of spirit and serve for the right reasons. Seek the counsel and example of godly men and women. Finally, exhibit a commitment to the preeminence of Christ in all things. To me, this is a really great paragraph because everyone's call is different. We're not all called to do the same things in life. And I think that's great. That's what makes us all unique and different. But if you can remember these key things, then you'll know whether or not you're living your life according to God's call. An action item that I've taken away from reading Ravi's book is to write down my mission statement, my core values, and my goals. This is something that I want to use to be able to measure my progress and make sure that I'm staying on track with what I really feel like is God's call on my life. I plan to complete the list soon because I want to take my time, as this will set the tone for really the rest of my life. I really hope this video has challenged you to think about, am I in the will of God? Am I living my life according to God's call? And where do I find my purpose?